Another car vlog. Yeah, car vlog. It's a car vlog intro. Because I'm doing a fucking car vlog. You guys, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. You may have watched my last car vlog. I didn't even say forever in my car vlog. Yeah, failure. But anyway, had another day of South by Southwest today, and it was great. Maybe not as awesome as yesterday's, but was still really great. No, it was great. It was still great. I did shoot a lot of daytime footage, but I kind of realized a couple problems. Number one, I don't have any video editing software here with me, which is why this and my other video will be unedited. And number two, I can't exactly play you this daytime footage that I have shot without taking the sound out of it. Because the thing is, there's so much music everywhere, in every direction that you go, you can't escape it. And YouTube doesn't like music in my videos that's not mine, even if it's being performed somewhere else, because I'm partnered. So if I do shoot some daytime footage tomorrow, I will put it on another YouTube channel and link you guys to it in my next video. Alright, so let's talk about what I did today. Who did I see? Where to start? Well, as you know, today was St. Patrick's Day, and that affected my exploits during the day greatly, greater than I had ever expected, because every set throughout the day was going on later than it was supposed to be, going earlier than it was supposed to be. Hardly anything was on time, and that kind of really screwed up my schedule. But anyway, I started, I started with Superhumanoids at 1 o'clock over at the Beauty Bar, and they were decent live. They were good. They were being shot for BAM TV, and, you know, I talked to the front man from the band just for a second, said, hey, awesome to see you guys here, that was great. I tried to see Braids after that at Lovejoy's, but like I said, everything's running late throughout the whole day. And when I had gotten there, you know, at the time that they were supposed to be playing, they hadn't even started sound checking yet. So we had to kind of sit through sound check, and by the time they got through 2 tracks, I had to go to my next thing. And but still, when Braids did play live, you know, I remember one of the things about their record, I had kind of reservations about the vocals, but live they were fantastic. The girl who sings and plays guitar in that band, she has a great voice, fantastic voice. It was great to hear it in person. After that, I tried to see Wild Flag over at the NPR event at the Parish, and but the line was really freaking long. So long that if I waited behind it, by the time I got inside the Parish, Wild Flag's set would be over. And then after that, I tried to see Natural Child, who you guys may remember I've talked about on the channel before. But the thing is, because of St. Patrick's Day, everything was running late. The bar that they were playing at, the Jackalope, a really cool place if you're in Austin, a very swanky, dirty, grimy place, you know, grimy in a good way, with a lot of character, and oil paintings of nude women all over the walls, and a giant rabbit with antlers in the front room. This place was running like 2 or 3 sets behind, and so I came in, I saw this band playing, and I didn't recognize them as Natural Child. They were called Dead Gaze. Asked them a name after the set just to make sure I wasn't confusing bands, but they were still really great. Bought their 7-inch. I left not knowing that that Natural Child was yet to play, because I was asking some people, hey, who's playing next? Nobody knows. You know, that's another thing. Sometimes things are very disoriented at these shows. that's the thing. I think kind of a misconception about South by Southwest as a festival, that it's really regulated and really commercial and all this other BS. I mean, the thing is, like, it's basically all these bars in the area and venues, and sometimes the bands aren't even playing in bars or venues. There's a church in the area running shows. There's a record label, a record store in the area running shows. There are restaurants having people play shows either on the street on patios or somewhere inside the area. There are bands and artists playing everywhere, and it's just too much going on for one company or one series of sponsors, let's say, to take control of. Because the thing is, yeah, some of these venues are sponsored, but a lot of these places where bands are playing aren't. I mean, a lot of these bars are just sort of having whoever play, and those bands aren't listed on websites where you can find like Sketch or something like that lists out sort of the South by Southwest sponsored venue lineups. So it's like there's a lot going on within those lineups, but yet there's also a lot going on outside of those lineups, that you can be planning out what you want to do, but also just kind of let your ear take you where you think you should go. Oh, this sounds awesome, let's go in here. Because all these places of course have their windows open and they're all like blasting music at each other. It's pretty insane. So I tried to see Natural Child, missed them, and then later afterwards in the day, one of the members of the band said, "Hey, thanks for reviewing my record." And I turned around, and who the hell said that? And it was one of the members of the band. And I said, "Oh, I tried to see you guys, but I guess I missed you." Let's see. After that, I actually walked over to the East Side Drive-In to see Times New Viking and Off at, I guess, the Pitchfork Festival or whatever. And, but the thing is, I'm far too white and far too Connecticut to stand in the Texas sun for a prolonged amount of time, so I was not there very long, especially since it took me a while to walk there. The sun was beating down on me by 3 or 4 o'clock, and I wasn't going to stand out in just sunbake to watch Times New Viking. I mean, I think they're playing tomorrow, and I'm going to try to see them then in a place with a roof. So anyway, tried to see Atlas Sound after that too. Keep in mind all this stuff is running late, at today, and so the thing is, like, I was getting to everything later than I probably would have. I tried to see Atlas Sound at the Flamenco Cantina. From what I know, that was his only set at South by Southwest, and the line to see him was wrapped around the block, so that was a no-go too. Kind of the same situation with Wild Flag. Then after that, a friend of mine who I met in Austin, she watches the show, gotta do a shout out. Her name is Jackie Sue, Jack Suey. She carted me over to this, she showed me some venues in the area. She's been very nice. She's awesome. And she carted me over to the, the Auditorium Shores stage where Twin Shadow and the Strokes were playing. And I didn't know anything about this place. I just knew that they were playing. And, every single venue I've been to thus far has been pretty small. I figured this would be the same situation. So we go there, and Twin Shadow's playing first as we walk in, and it is a free show. So, anybody can get in, no questions asked. And it is a gigantic lawn party complete with a huge stage, like Titantron-sized, big screen next to the stage so that you could see what's going on, like, kind of up close. And, what's going on over here? Fix the lights. And also just a ton of lighting effects going on in the background, and man, to see Twin Shadow playing such a huge stage to thousands and thousands and thousands of people all in this grassy area was fantastic. I mean, I think the guy writes great music, and I think that it's a great opportunity for him. Good job, great job. He played really well. The Strokes after that, they were okay. They played the hits, they were good. When Julian Casablancas first came out, I kind of questioned his level of sobriety. Not only because his vocals sort of seemed to be all over the place, but then he was also forgetting the words to his songs, and but then eventually, they fell into a groove, and they were playing, tracks off of Room on Fire, and just like banging out the hits, bringing it together, no mistakes. It was fantastic. But the thing is, still, I was in an area with Jackie where we couldn't even see the stage. All we could see was like the big screen TV, and barely that. So the thing is, like, though it's cool that the Strokes are playing this big stage, and I'm not saying like, ooh, you're selling out, you're playing a big stage. That's not the kind of festival experience I'm looking for. I'm looking for something a little more intimate, something that I can actually see a little more closely. I mean, like the mistakes the Strokes did make during their set, which weren't even that big of a deal. I think that I would have, they wouldn't have bothered me so much if I wasn't standing so far away from it all. If I felt like I was having some kind of connection or something going on, during that moment, then maybe it would feel like, the mistakes didn't matter. The mistakes made it unique. But instead, I just kind of felt like, I'm far away from this. It kind of sucks how far I am. It's like I can't even see the stage, and I know most people there couldn't either. Everybody in my area couldn't see the stage. Thousands of people at that place couldn't see the stage, but yet they were there. And that's not my thing. It's like that's kind of like why I avoid a lot of festivals, because I don't want to be in that situation. It's not a situation that interests me. I do like the situation that a lot of these smaller venues at South by are creating, though. It's like a bunch of, intimate situations going on at once. So after the Strokes and Twin Shadow got something to eat, and this is going to turn into another story. It's pretty screwed up. Throughout the day, and Jackie was there with me. A couple people had come up to me and introduced themselves and said, hey, I really love your videos, I watch. And, I said, thank you. Shout outs to anybody who approached me. We were going into Whole Foods just to get something to eat. And she said, hey, I bet you somebody's going to recognize you in Whole Foods. And I said, BS, nobody's going to recognize me. We're just going to get food and we're going to, eat and go. So, we bet $5. And so we're getting our food. Nobody's noticed me. I'm kind of shoving that in her face. And, I'm going to get $5. I'm going to get 5. And then as I'm ringing out my food, I look across 2 registers over, and there's this dude with long hair and a beard and a Napalm Death t-shirt, from what I can recollect, just staring at me 2 cash registers away. And, I just smiled and, looked the other way. The bet is still in my mind, but, I figured, he's a metalhead. He's a Napalm Death fan. He doesn't watch the Needle Drop. I've never reviewed Napalm Death, rationalizing the situation. So I bought my food, and then I hear in my right ear, are you Anthony? And then I turn, and it's the guy with the Napalm Death t-shirt. And, I said yes. I looked to my left. Jackie's there. She's watched the whole thing. I can't fake it now. And she's like, yes, winning. And he says, what? Who's that? Why is she saying winning? And I said, well, you just made me lose a bet. And he says, oh, cool. Could I get any of those bet winnings? And so I said, hey, it's nice to meet you. Thanks for saying hi. What's your name? And he says, Grayson. And in my head, I only know only one person whose name is Grayson, and that's Grayson Curran, who is a writer, music critic, rock critic, whatever. I guess in the same boat as I am, a music reviewer. And a while back, maybe some of you old Needle Drops remember, he wrote some tweet dissing the Needle Drop, saying that the Needle Drop is so bad that it makes him want to quit music journalism. And, and so my first reaction was, don't you hate the Needle Drop? And he says, no, I was just screwing with you. I was joking. I was picking on you. Everybody gets picked on. It's okay. Don't worry about it. So I guess I was relieved that he wasn't serious, but then again, I did lose $5. So yeah, yeah, just a huge bowl of like, karma soup right there for me. Like nobody's gonna notice me. Somebody notices me, and it was somebody who I perceived hated what I did, but I guess he doesn't. Hi Grayson, if you're watching. So after that, he said, "Hey, where are you going? Are you going to go see Agalloch tonight?" And that kind of persuaded me. Agalloch, Wu-Tang, Agalloch, Wu-Tang. I went to go see Agalloch. So they were playing at Barbarella, and they were great. They played a great set. The thing is, like, they were really energetic, playing well, but there was an issue there. And there's an issue at a lot of these venues, because the thing is they try to pile in so much talent and so many acts all together at once that not you, but everything feels so rushed. And because of that, like, sound check lasts, just a couple minutes. There's no proper sound check going on. So, there's a lot of wonky mixes all throughout the day, and Agalloch had one of the wonkiest, unfortunately. You couldn't hear hardly any of the guitar leads, from where I was standing anyway. I heard plenty of bass and plenty of rhythm guitar, but the drums were a little buried, and just like hardly any of the leads and hardly any of the soloing, which, for me is kind of just as important as everything else. And, there are other instances of that stuff going on throughout the place. I mean, throughout all these places, just because they're trying to get people to come in and come out and get these, just bang out all these shows at once, when honestly it takes time if you want to do it really well. That was Oh, I saw one more thing after Agalloch. I saw Owen Pallett, and he was great. He was great live. I mean, there was still like a little wonkiness with the mix there, but it could have been from where I was standing. I was like right next to his speaker, but still, he performs really, really well with the keyboard and the loop machine. I mean, the loop pedals and the and the violin. He's just a talent. He's great. And he sings too. Owen, you're great. Keep being awesome. And he was at Emo's, and I forgot one more show that I did see at a great venue, Stage on 6th. What's so cool about that venue, they just have a bunch of orange amplifiers that people play through, and orange amp sounds great. And another thing, the whole venue is like wood, which is great for the acoustics. Everything's just warm, everything sinks in, there's no hard bouncing, things echoing off the walls because everything is made of stone or metal. So it's like, high wood ceiling, wood walls. It was just really nice, swanky place. Another swanky place I went to for a little bit, just because I sort of wandered in because I was in the wrong place, but another place called Shakespeare's Pub. Really cool. Kind of dark. Lots of, Western music playing over the speakers, 3 bars, downstairs, upstairs patio, and on both patios you can watch the same stage, and a stage like kind of carved out of stone with like the pub's name, etched into the front of it. So it's like it was a cool little place, and I shot video of most of these, areas. So I'm going to be posting that, sort of a montage of all of that when I get back home. That was pretty much my day, man. It's like just a lot of stuff going on. Had a good time. Just like, experiencing this festival. I mean, I'm sold on it. I've had a great time. One more. I've had a great time. I'm definitely coming back to this thing next year. It's just a great festival for me. It's like the YouTube of festivals. You don't need to like what everybody else likes. You could just go off and watch or listen to whatever you want to listen to. You're not forced to sit through something, you hate if you don't want to, because there are alternatives. There are alternatives everywhere, and that's the beauty of it. You're not limited to 1 or 2 or 3 stages like you are at other festivals. You could go wherever you want to go and see whatever you want to see. Chances are, if you're into a certain type of music, there's at least a little bit of it going on over there. I mean, there are musicians playing up and down the streets, from, like crusty folk punkers to a complete horn band. I saw people gathered around this horn band waving like white pieces of like cloth, white handkerchiefs, and they were all dancing in the street to this horn band that just sort of put themselves in an intersection. And that's another thing. There's the 6th Street in Austin. You know, there are a bunch of streets in downtown area. It's like a grid. And 6th Street gets shut down completely. People are just walking all up and down the street, getting to the next venue they want to get to. And even the streets branching off of 6th Street have pretty limited access. You know, and even on the streets above and below, people are still running around in the road, even if cars are going by. You know, it's a very slow pace if you're a driver in that area. And, you know, just to give you a sense of how overwhelming the crowd is there. I mean, if they did have the street running still, I mean, there would be too many people to fit on the sidewalks alone, which is why they're all out in the street. You know, I imagine it was just kind of just a natural choice because, you know, there were so many people in the area over time that, you know, it just became a safety hazard. You know, but a friend of mine, you know, also tells me that on some weekends they shut down 6th Street as well. I don't live in Austin. I'm not an expert. But still, that's how many people are there, you know, and still, I mean, even if shutting down 6th Street is a regular occurrence, there's no possible way they could still keep that street running during South by Southwest because so many people are in that area at once. The sidewalks would just be impossible to move through. You know, and people of like all ages and races and, you know, both genders, of course, and, you know, looks like people of different religious backgrounds all, you know, going up and down this street, people of all walks of life just listening to and exploring the world of music via these different venues and bars. And it's just a really cool place to be. It's, you know, it's like it's Disneyland. You know, you go on the rides you want to go on. I really want to go on, you know, I really want to go on the James Blake, Mom. They just built the new James Blake. I want to go on it. It has 3 loops on it. Okay, fine. We'll go on the James Blake as soon as we're done going on the Times New Viking. I hate the Times New Viking. You know, that's what it's like. It's like that. So I think I got to end this vlog. Thanks for watching. I'm having a great time. I'm going to shoot some daytime video tomorrow, and just keep being awesome. Forever.